Hello all, welcome to Homeschool, and we are with the chapter The Fundamental Unit of Life, isn't it? So in our previous video we have discussed every basic aspects about the cell, who discovered a cell, what actually a cell does, right? And unicellular organisms, multicellular organisms, etc. And today, let us try to discuss more detailed aspects about a cell. We got to know how important the cell is. Each and every part of a living system is made up of cell. So, what is there inside a cell? There are so many things which are there inside a cell, guys. Okay, so the components of a cell, the things which are present inside the cell are called with the term cell organelles. Clear? So what do you mean by cell organelles? The components of a cell. The components of a cell is called cell organelles. There are many things present inside the cell, guys. Okay, and first and foremost, let us try to discuss three main components of a cell. Okay, so with what the cell is made up of, that is what let us try to discuss. And remember, all the cells, it may be a muscle cell, it may be a nerve cell, it may be a blood cell, it may be a plant cell, it may be an animal cell, it may be a cell of microorganisms. All cells will have the cell organelles, same cell organelles. Clear? Each and every cell will have the same type of cell organelles. Remember, but the cells are different in their shape, size and function, that is duty. But within the cell, whatever components are there, they are similar in all types of cells. This point is very, very important. Okay, so take a note here. Note, that means a very important point. All cells have similar, okay, or same type of cell organelle. Okay, but same type of cell organelles will be there, but depending on their function, the structure and size, shape of a cell would be different. That's it. Clear? Fine. And first and foremost, there are three important cell organelles. First we will discuss them. Later we will go to other cell organelles. Okay. So what are they? First one is plasma membrane. In other words, this is also called as cell membrane. And the second thing is cytoplasm. And the third important cell organelle is nucleus. Okay, so first let us discuss about plasma membrane in this class. Clear? So if you want to have an idea how these cell organelles look like in a cell is, imagine if you have one spherical cell, okay, and the outermost membrane is there, this is what we call plasma membrane, right? And inside there will be something which we call it as, nucleus. And the outermost membrane is there, this is what we call cell membrane or plasma membrane. And this space, this is all filled with certain liquid, guys. There would be certain fluid. So within this fluid, there are so many components, there are so many cell organelles present. But this fluid area where other cell organelles keep floating in this fluid, so that fluid area is there, that is what we call cytoplasm. Okay, so this part is called cytoplasm. Cytoplasm contains many cell organelles which keep floating in that fluid. Clear? Fine. So first what we are going to learn, guys? We are going to learn about the plasma membrane. Okay. So what do you mean by a plasma membrane? The membrane or the outer covering that separates the cell from external environment. Yes or no? External environment. Yes, for everything the covering is very much essential. This outermost layer, this is what the separation between cell and external environment. Okay, that means the area which is there around the cell, which is separating from the area which is there around the cell. This plasma membrane, the cell membrane is separating. Okay, all the cell organelles are present inside this membrane, right? So I can say this is like a protective membrane. This is like a protective membrane. Say for example, the walls, right? So the walls of the room, these walls actually protect us. Say inside, many people can be present in the same room, but who is protecting so many people? Which is a boundary for the room, guys? The walls, right? So plasma membrane is like wall of a cell. Okay. Second important point that you have to remember about plasma membrane is, see, this is semi-permeable membrane. This is a very important word, guys. It is a semi-permeable membrane, or it is also called as selectively permeable membrane. What do you mean by selectively permeable membrane? Okay, through these membrane, actually the substances can come in and the substances can go out. Isn't it? Say for example, if this is the cell, inside nucleus is there, say this outer membrane is what? Plasma membrane, I told you. Through these membrane, the substances can come inside. See, the cell needs oxygen, right? The cell needs food. The cell needs water, right? So how does this oxygen enter into the cell? Through these plasma membrane, guys. Okay, so you can observe the detailed picture about the plasma membrane. So that is how it is a very thick layer, guys. Actually speaking, the plasma membrane is made up of proteins and lipids. Okay, proteins and lipids. Proteins and lipids are certain chemical substances. Say proteins and lipids will join together and it forms such thick membrane. Okay, so that is what the exact detailed picture about the plasma membrane. It's a detailed study and all we will not do for your level. You will be studying it in much higher level. Just try to remember, it is a membrane made up of proteins and lipids. It forms an outer covering of the cell. Okay, inside this cell organelles are present. And what is the nature of this membrane, guys? Semi-permeable means it allows only certain things to come inside or go outside. Okay, see, it wants oxygen, so only oxygen gas can enter. And after that, the waste material of the cell is carbon dioxide. Only carbon dioxide should go out. Cell organelles should not go out. Other cell organelles, many organelles would be present, right? They shouldn't go out through this membrane. Only carbon dioxide should go out. So only carbon dioxide will go out. Or sometimes only water should come inside. So only water will come inside. So very much selective. Okay, only few things can come inside or go outside, and it will block certain things to enter. Okay, say whatever the things which is unnecessary for the cell, if it is entering, then plasma membrane will block that. Okay, say water is there. In the water there are many other stuffs are there, many stuffs, like many unnecessary stuffs are there. So what happens? Cell membrane will take only water inside and it will not allow the other things to enter into the cell. Okay, so it just pushes away. No, you go out, I don't require you, I just need water. So water only will go away, right? So such a character is what we call it as semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so what is the meaning of semi-permeable membrane? Allows only certain substances to go into the cell, okay, and it also blocks certain things to enter into the cell. Okay, so this is the main function of semi-permeable membrane. It will have very small pores, guys. Through these pores, only water and gases can enter inside. Okay, other things cannot enter. So that way the cell is protected. Clear? The cell is in a secure form. It's all because of this outer covering is very much powerful. It is allowing only few things inside, and it is allowing only few things to go outside, and it is mainly blocking certain unnecessary things to enter. Okay, so such a membrane which is very much selective, right, for the passage of gases or the substances is called semi-permeable membrane or selectively permeable membrane. It's a very, very important point to be remembered about the plasma membrane or cell membrane. Okay, fine. And now, as I already told you, this cell require oxygen, and it may require so many other ions also, so many gases also. So how do these gases go into the cell, guys? No doubt it will go through that semi-permeable membrane. Okay, but actually which process that helps for the gases and ions to move into the cell? The process is diffusion. Okay, say you can write a point here. Gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide and other ions can go into the cell or come out of the cell is through a simple process called diffusion. Okay, so very important, diffusion. You must have studied in your previous chapters, right? So what do you mean by diffusion? Passage of substances from the region of higher concentration area to the region of lesser concentration. Yes or no? So if you want to ask me the definition of diffusion, it's very simple. What is diffusion? Passage of gases from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. Okay, say for example, in this room or say outside, the room is closed with the windows and all. Outside there would be lots of gases, isn't it? And you know that outside area I will call it as very much concentrated area with gases. Gases are too many are there outside compared to inside the area of a room, isn't it? So outside the concentration of gases, concentration in the sense what? Amount of a substance is too much. Okay, say the moment I open a window, what would happen? The gases will pass from outside to inside. Will the gases go from inside to outside? Inside nothing is there. Imagine no gas is there inside. Can anything go from inside of a room to outside area? No, right? Outside there are so many gases. So the moment I open the window, you know what is happening? Gas is passing from where? From a region of higher concentration. That means from an area which has too much high amount of gases. From that area, the gas is coming to the area where there is less amount of gas or no amount of gas. Okay, so this is what the meaning of the word diffusion. So I repeat once again, it is nothing but passage of substances, mainly gases, from where to where? From higher concentration area to lower concentration area. Yes or no? Say for example, I have agarbatti, right? Say agarbatti's smoke is more in this area. From this area, it will go to one more area where there is less smoke. Right? So from less smoke area to high smoke area, nothing will come. High smoke area, from this area to the area where less smoke is there, no, in that direction the smoke will be passed, isn't it? So such a process we will call it as diffusion. So with the help of a process called diffusion, the gases, say for example oxygen, outside the cell there is so much oxygen. So that's the reason oxygen will pass from outside to inside. Okay, and once the oxygen has come inside the cell, it will be used up. And what is the waste material formed? Carbon dioxide. Too much of carbon dioxide would be created inside the cell. Now concentration of carbon dioxide is very much high now. Too much of carbon dioxide is there. It should go out. So it will go out through plasma membrane. Okay, what is that process called? Passage of gas from higher concentration area to lower concentration area. What is that process? Process name is diffusion. But it will be passed through which membrane, guys? It will be passed through plasma membrane. Okay? And similarly, see, gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide ions passed through simple technique called diffusion. Now, cell needs water, right? Water also should enter into the cell. And this process, passage of water from higher concentration area to lower concentration area through the membrane is called osmosis. Okay, so this is a very, very important term. So what I am going to write is passage of water from high concentration area, high concentration, wherever water is very much higher, from that area it can pass through the region where water is less. Okay, so passage of water from high concentration area to low concentration area, okay, through semi-permeable membrane, through semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. Very important, guys. Okay, say water can be passed only if membrane is there. If membrane is not there, water cannot be passed. Okay, but gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide can be passed inside or they can go outside even if membrane is not there. Okay, for passage of gases, membrane is not required actually, but for passage of water, plasma membrane is compulsorily required, guys. And how is water gets passed always? From the region of higher water concentration area to region of lower water concentration area. Okay, say for example, outside the cell, if you have too much of water, only then water will be passed from outside to inside through this membrane. Membrane will have small pores, small holes. Through that holes, actually water would be passing. Okay, but to pass the gases, membrane is not required, guys. Okay, even if membrane is not there, Outside, if too much of oxygen gas or something is there, automatically that oxygen gas can go into a cell, higher concentration area to lower concentration area. Got to know? But for water passage, definitely that membrane has to be there. Clear? So this is what the difference between diffusion and osmosis. Diffusion includes the passage of gases, okay, from higher concentration area to lower concentration area. Is the membrane compulsorily required? Not required. But what is osmosis? Passage of water, guys, from higher concentration area to lower concentration area. Definitely water to pass, membrane is required. That is called osmosis. Okay, now let us learn more details about osmosis. On osmosis, let us study some experiment. Okay, see. We all know what do you mean by osmosis. Just now I discussed too much. It is the passage of water, guys. From where to where? From higher water concentration area to lesser water concentration area. Okay. So the water which is more in a particular area, you know, from that area the water always passes to the area where there is less water through a membrane called semi-permeable membrane. So such a process is called osmosis. Okay. Now let us see three situations. In the first situation, what I will do is I will take a tub of water. Okay. This is fully with water, lots of water I took. So in this water, I have placed one animal cell or plant cell. Some living cell I placed. Clear? This is the situation one, guys. Okay. So in the second situation, what I will do is, I am taking a salt solution. Okay. Say more of salt, less of water. Okay. This is what? Salt solution I am taking, guys. Clear? And I am placing a cell. I am placing a cell. Okay. And here, okay, let us discuss the third situations lastly. First, observe the first two situations. These two are very important situations. Okay. Say, what happened here? How will the osmosis takes place, guys? Osmosis in the sense passage of water, no? So, how will the water is passed? Will the water passes from outside, that is from beaker to inside the cell, or will the water passes from inside of the cell to beaker? What happens? See here, one more real life example I will show you. Say, imagine resins. You all know what do you mean by resins? Yes or no? So these are actually resins. Dry fruits, dry grapes is called resins. Okay, and these resins I have soaked it in water. I have put it in water, and tomorrow morning if I observe, what will happen? Actually, I have placed some resins, two resins an hour before. Okay, what I can observe is their size is getting increased. Okay, see the size of the resin in the sense what? So many cells would be there in that resin. So what actually would have happened? The size of the cell, it will bulge. Okay, the cell will bulge. Can you tell me a reason why the cell bulges? Why the cell swells? So observe carefully what has happened here, guys. Cell swells. Okay, why? Swells due to osmosis. Yes or no? What is happening? Outside there is large amount of water. Inside the cell, the water content is very little. So the water would have passed into the cell through this semi-permeable membrane. Cells will contain a membrane. Got to know? See, remember one point in your mind, guys. Passage of water needs a membrane here into the cell. If water has to be passed, definitely membrane is required. Okay, see, one particular cell, when I kept it in a pure water, due to osmosis, actually the cell is swelling. Okay, it is due to osmosis. So what has happened here? Water passed from beaker to cell. Why it has passed from beaker to cell, guys? Because beaker has more amount of water, concentration of water is very much high. Inside the cell there would be less water only, isn't it? So water has moved from beaker to cell. That is the reason cell has swollen. Okay, swelling of cell you will observe. Actually, such a solution where the cells are swelling, the cells are becoming large in its size, is called hypotonic solution, guys. Okay, actually this solution is called hypotonic solution. Hypotonic solution. So what do you mean by hypotonic solution? The solution in which the cells swell. Okay, they become large in its size because they would have absorbed water. Why? How does that water has been absorbed? Actually, osmosis occurred. What do you mean by osmosis? Passage of water from higher water concentration area to lower water concentration area. Okay, got to know? So this is the proof that osmosis has occurred. Okay, see, actually these resins, no, which I soaked in water 1 hour ago, they have become big in their size. See this resin? Yes, it is swollen. Yes or no? See, and it is soft also. If I press it, you know, it is very soft, right? It is swollen because this particular thing would have absorbed water. How it would have absorbed water? Because there are so many cells. Each and every cell has plasma membrane that is semi-permeable. So water would have moved from higher water area to lower water area. Where is water area? Where is less amount of water, guys? Inside the cell. Where is more amount of water? Beaker. So from that area, the water would have moved into the cell through that membrane. That's the reason the cell has become large in its size, swollen. Clear? So such a solution where the living cells will become swell or they become large in its size is called hypotonic solution. Okay, fine. And you see the other way. Say, what is this solution, guys? This is actually a salt solution. Salt solution, I have more of salt. I took more salt and very less water. Concentrated salt solution I took. Very less water is there and more amount of salt is there. So now, how does the water passage occur? You know, compared to the water that is present in a beaker, see, salt is more, water amount is less. Compared to the water that is present in a beaker, water present inside would be more. Okay, so that's the reason all the water will come out from cell to solution. Okay, so that point of time what will happen? Cell will become small in its size. Cell actually shrinks. Remember, guys, whenever a cell is kept in a salt solution, what happens? Cell shrinks. Shrinks in the sense what? Becomes small in size. Becomes small in size. Okay, why? It is also due to osmosis. So here what way the osmosis took place? Water moved from cell to solution. Cell to solution, that is beaker. Isn't it? So such a solution where the cell is shrinking, where the cell is losing all its water, okay, such a solution is called as hypertonic solution. Okay, so this is actually called hypertonic solution. Clear? Hypertonic solution is a solution where cells shrinks. Cells shrinks. Okay? This is what the second situation. Actually, see, this is the salt solution. Inside a salt solution, I have put resins 1 hour ago. And if I have to show the resins, see, and this has shrunk actually. Okay, you can see that skin, it's shrunk. Clear? See, this solution is now, I will call it as hypertonic because cells have become shrunk. This solution I will call it as hypotonic because cells have swollen. Got to know why the cells are swollen here? The reason you must know, guys. Water entered from outside to inside. Okay. Here, why the cells have shrunk, guys? Because water entered from cell to outside. Cell has lost all its water content. Okay, because compared to the outside environment, compared to water in a beaker, water content in a cell is higher. Okay, so that's the reason water always moves from higher concentration to lower concentration. No, more amount of water was there in a cell compared to beaker. That's the reason all the water went away from a cell, came out of the cell. That's the reason the cell has become shrunk. Clear? And coming to the third situation, I have put a cell in a beaker where the water, that is H2O of a cell, is almost equal to H2O of a beaker. Okay, so in a beaker, how much ever water content is there, that much water content is present inside the cell also. Then do you observe a process of osmosis? Yes, osmosis means what? See, in one area water amount must be high, another area water amount must be less. Only then water would move from higher area to lower area. But here, say the amount of water present in the cells is almost equal to the amount of water present in the beaker. So here, no shrinking, no swelling takes place. Yes or no? So such a solution is actually called as isotonic solution. Isotonic solution. Clear? Fine. So this is all about osmosis, guys. Now let us see a beautiful visual on osmosis. Okay, and later we will end up the session.
This visual on osmosis. This is hypotonic solution. Cell is kept in a water. You can see the cell is swelling, isn't it? So why is the cell swelling here? The water from outside is moving into the cell through the membrane. See this black color thing, this is what the membrane, semi-permeable membrane, right? Plasma membrane of the cell. So the water, these are water molecules, H2O molecules, okay? So these guys are moving into the cell through these membrane. Such a solution we will call it as hypotonic. What you have to observe is the swelling of cell when it is put in hypotonic solution. Okay. Coming to the third situation, hypertonic solution. See, water from the cell is going outside. You can observe this arrow mark, guys. See, what does this indicate? Water is going outside, so that the cell is shrinking. Okay, so that means the water would have been more inside the cell compared to outside environment. That's why the water is moving outside. Once the water moves outside, what happens? The cell will shrink, isn't it? So in hypertonic solution, the cell is shrinking, right? Coming to isotonic solution, what happens here is actually the amount of water present outside and the amount of water present inside the cell is almost same. So that's the reason what happens is if one water molecule goes outside, one water molecule comes inside only, right? You see two arrow marks you can observe here. One arrow mark is coming inside, one arrow mark is from outside, like going outside from the cell. That means if one water molecule comes inside, one water molecule goes outside. So there is no change in the shape of a cell. such a solution we will call it as isotonic solution. Okay, so you can observe once again here what happens in hypotonic solution. Osmosis, how does it happen? From outside to inside. See the arrow mark, water is going into the cell, that's why the cell is swelling. Hypertonic, water is going outside the cell, so the cell is shrinking. Isotonic, there is no change in size. Okay, so this is all about osmosis.